Yo, yo, yo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode. Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic day. I sure am. We didn't get some good news earlier, but we're going to be diving into all that here pretty soon. Let's do a real quick roll call. Where are you guys watching from? Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. We got a lot to talk about today. We got some Cardinal news, and of course, more terrible news as well. But overall, let's see exactly how this all shakes out. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. We got Nick Rallis coming out here saying he didn't like the game plan. We're going to be diving into all that here as well, ladies and gentlemen. Smack the like button on your way in. Let's get started. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and let's focus on the chat here real quick. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. We got Gaming, we got Christopher, we got Arturo, we got John, Michael, 5'9" clothing, DDR. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. We got a couple different roll callers here. We got my guy BH, says Mesa, South Mountain AZ. Love to see it. Javi says stop the Shador. Yeah, I don't know about the Shador thing. I mean, but yeah, let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here. All right, man, we got a lot to talk about today. Jonathan Gannon ended up meeting with the media probably about 15 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago. And of course, more terrible news. And that's just been the state, man. That's been the state of the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. If you can go ahead and chalk it up to how do you describe the 2025 Arizona Cardinals, the only real news we get is bad news. That's it. That's the only real news we get for this team, unfortunately. And it sucks. It really does. As a fan of this team, as somebody who covers this team, you really want some positivity. You really do. And you don't get it. You don't get it one bit. All you get in terms of news is the fact that this guy is out. This guy's, healthy. He's trending in the right direction. That's really seems to be the extent of what the Cardinals news is this whole entire year. Now, Jonathan Gannon did end up coming and saying that left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. is ruled out for this game. Now, is it shocking? Well, yesterday we ended up seeing an Ian Rappaport report coming out. He ended up coming out yesterday and saying that he was diagnosed, and I'm talking about Paris Johnson Jr., he was diagnosed with a sprained MCL, and he's considered week to week. Now, we already know this week he's not going to be a go. But not just that, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys hear Trey Benson? Good God. Trey Benson is not going to be activated. He's done for the season. The Cardinals opened up his 21-day window, and Jonathan Gannon just confirmed that he is not going to be active this season. Oh, boy. It's one of those things where, I keep going back to this front office and saying, what the heck was the plan? What did you, did you just sail in, we're done by the time James Conner got hurt? When James Conner got hurt, did they just say to themselves, we're done, here's a white flag? They made no real effort to bring in a running back to help out this bad running game. No real effort, right? They gave you a sliver of hope in thoughts and a prayer that we're going to be able to see Trey Benson. But guess what? Trey Benson's been in this league for 2 years. 2 years now, and he's been on IR both those years. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't. I don't know where to go from here because we have a coaching staff right now that does like to keep things hush-hush. They don't like to give too much information out because they don't want to take away their competitive advantage. Yeah, the same coaching staff that has, 15 wins and 32 losses and training to probably only keep 15 wins throughout his tenure of being an Arizona Cardinal head coach. They want to keep a competitive advantage, so they love to keep things very, very hush-hush. And it's kind of frustrating, right? The shtick of what Jonathan Gannon is, it's kind of, I'm tired of it. I'm bored. All right. Give me some news that are sustainable. Like, give us news that we don't have to hear from Adam Schefter. Give us news that we don't have to hear from Ian Rappaport. Man, the loss of not having Paris Johnson Jr. there this coming Sunday is going to be felt. And let me tell you right now, this is probably going to be another brutalizing beatdown of a performance, Cardinals versus the Texans. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys remember or if you guys been subscribed to this channel. I'm not going to come out here and say Paris Johnson Jr. wasn't the pick in 2023, but one guy that I absolutely loved out of the 2023 NFL draft, and the Cardinals were in striking position to get him, but decided to trade back to accumulate another first-round pick in 2024, which equated to Darius Robinson, was my guy, Will Johnson Jr., which is absolutely going to wreak havoc on Jacoby Brissett this coming weekend. Will Johnson Jr. is absolutely Will Johnson. My goodness. Will Anderson. Good God. Will Anderson. Sorry, not Will Johnson. Will Anderson. Will Johnson was our cornerback. Will Anderson, the guy that I absolutely loved coming out of the 2023 draft. And I was like, you can't trade back. For the love of God, don't trade back. Don't trade back. Monty Allsuport trades back. And now we're seeing Will Anderson Jr. absolutely feasting on teams right now. This kid is going to be special. It is going to continue to be special. And it's unfortunate that our coaching staff and this regime didn't see him when we were sitting at the 3rd overall pick and saying, this is a must. We got to go after him. Unfortunately, they decided to trade back, accumulate another first-round pick, which came out to be Darius Robinson, which, let's be real, he's not been the greatest. But here we are. Will Anderson Jr., you're probably going to have at least 2 or 3 sacks in this game because now that Paris Johnson Jr. has been rolled out, man, oh man, oh man. It just kind of feels like Monty Allsuport in this regime. I don't know, man. It sucks because I don't want to label him like I labeled Steve Keim. And Steve Keim, sometimes I feel like he felt like he was the smartest guy in the room. And sometimes when you outsmart yourself, you come out 2 or 3 years later saying, man, maybe we should have drafted him over what we did. Now, yes, I love Paris Johnson Jr. I think he's a really good tackle for the Cardinals. And I think last that I looked, he's doing really good in terms of the Pro Bowl votes. But the impact that we've seen from Will Anderson in the 3 years is night and day, man. It really is. So, yeah, Paris Johnson Jr. ruled out of this game. And on top of that, we also do have a Trey Benson rollout as well, running back that was supposed to be the future for the Cardinals, and we still don't know. We still don't know what's going to happen with running back. Is James Conner coming back? Is Trey Benson going to be able to stay healthy to be that number 1 guy? A lot more questions leaving 2025, unfortunately, than entering it. But here we go. Right? Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what we know. Or actually, before we do that, did you guys end up hearing what Nick Rallis said yesterday? And I usually don't listen to these coordinators. I really don't. Like, I stopped listening to Drew Petzing. Anything he says is really to the point where in one ear, out the other. Like, I think they're all just kind of talking to talk at this point. But did you guys hear what Nick Rallis ended up saying yesterday about the matchup once he looked at the film against the Rams? Check this out.
Felt it as soon as I walked out of the stadium. Probably before that did not like the plan, to be honest. Like, I felt like, I didn't give the guys a chance to go out there and execute and win downs.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Jonathan Gannon, Nick Rallis, Drew Petzing. 3 years into this regime, and you can just see the inexperience leaking out. You can see the inexperience of this coaching staff that we have, is a sore part of this team. Nick Rallis came out yesterday saying, I didn't like the plan. I didn't like it. Well, no, duh. You're playing MVP Matthew Stafford, arguably one of the best teams in the NFC, and some might say in the NFL, and you come out here not pressuring him. You came out here and said, no, we're good. We can get back there with the 4 guys. No, they're going to slice and dice you up. That's what they're going to do. Matthew Stafford is playing at an all-time level right now. I'm just so baffled that was the game plan and that Jonathan Gannon approved that game plan. And he said, okay, yeah, I love it. Good job, Rallis. We're ready to go for, Rams week. Let's do it. Let's go. You didn't even pressure Matthew Stafford, but 1 or 2 specific plays. No, duh. How are you making this much money and able to make that critical of a mistake, right? How are you able to wait to week 14 and now start realizing, damn, man, maybe what we're doing isn't working? You should have thought of that earlier. Come on. You can't get back there with the front 4 guys. Walter Nolan, although I love the pick and I think he's got some good promise to him, this man can't stay healthy either. None of these first round picks that we brought in can stay healthy. Marvin Harrison Jr. unfortunately has missed 3 or 4 games this year, missed 1 game last year. Will Johnson has missed some games here and there. Walter Nolan, when he's on the field, look good, but he can't stay healthy either. It's just a accumulance of all these different things that are compiling to why we are where we are. It's unfortunate. Now, I don't want to come out here and say, oh, Walter Nolan wasn't the pick. I actually liked what I've seen from Walter Nolan in the small sample size that we did. But does anybody remember the guys that I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to draft, right? Another guy opposite side of Josh Sweat. I felt like it was a really good potential piece to bring in. James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker are guys that are playing for the Atlanta Falcons right now. And guess what? As rookies, they already have 5 sacks each. What are we doing? How is a podcaster, a guy that shouldn't know anything about football, right? You don't have football knowledge, Mike. You don't know. But these guys, these rookies are A, healthy, and B, making plays. They're making plays in their rookie year. All of our rookies, unfortunately, can't stay healthy right now. Well, not rookies, but year 1, year 2, year 3 players can't stay healthy to save a lick. It's frustrating. It really is. It's so damn frustrating. But here we go, right? James Pierce Jr. right now, and I'm not going to come out here and say he wasn't the pick. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, damn, sometimes you got to sit back and say, oh, did we do the right thing or not? James Pierce Jr. right now, which I was super high on, 6'5", 243, 11 solo tackles, 6 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Jalen Walker, another guy in my top 5 that I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to go after. He's sitting, I believe, in 5 sacks right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 21 solo tackles. He plays more of the middle linebacker. 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. It's crazy, man. It really is. It's crazy that we're here, but you can look everywhere and point your finger wherever you want to point at. Monty Austinford's decisions. You want to point any which direction, you can do that, and you probably won't be wrong. You probably won't be wrong. But here we are. Let's talk about what makes me excited. Let's be real. Let's talk about what gives me a little bit of excitement heading into 2026. I don't know if you guys heard of it or heard, but we ended up seeing or hearing from Albert Breer yesterday. Albert Breer, yes, NFL insider. I believe he was live, and there was a Cardinal fan jumping on his live and asking, does he feel like Jonathan Gannon is safe? And this is what Albert Breer had to say. Yes, NFL insider, works for SI, but he's got some in the know, right? This is what Albert Breer had to say.
Do you see Jonathan Gannon get fired this offseason? He's gotten blown out by every NFC West rival. I certainly don't think he's safe right now. I don't know what the owner's going to do, but it does feel to me like some level of change is coming. And I think JG knows this.
So he says a little bit more. I just cut him off because he ends up coming out and saying the Cardinals lost 11 straight, which is not true. The Cardinals haven't lost 11 straight, and we're not 2-11. We're 3-10 right now. So he did say some things that are a little I don't think he really follows the Cardinals to the point where we need to listen to the remaining of the 30-second clip because he doesn't really say a lot of things that are correct. But what he said about his opinion on it, let's listen into one more thing because I want to make sure everybody's clear on what he's saying here. Let's run it back one more time.
Do you see Jonathan Gannon get fired this offseason? He's gotten blown out by every NFC West rival. I certainly don't think he's safe right now. I don't know what the owner's going to do, but it does feel to me like some level of change is coming.
Okay, let's leave it right there. We're not going to finish it. He does not know what the owner is going to do, but he does feel like there is going to be a level of change happening. That doesn't really necessarily mean Jonathan Gannon's going to get the axe, but there might be a change that happens within the coaching staff or something else. We don't know, right? But how can you sit here as an Arizona Cardinal fan and actually sit back and say to yourself, right? Oh, I feel confident going into year 4 with Jonathan Gannon. Now, yes, you can blame the fact that the Arizona Cardinals have had injuries. That's fine. But guess what? There's other teams dealing with injuries as well. The Cardinals aren't the only ones dealing with injuries. We were dealing with a bad run game from the beginning of the season, even when James Conner was here. Let's not forget that when James Conner was actually healthy in the first few games, there was still a real bad run attack in this Arizona Cardinals offense, right? And for some reason, Michael Wilson wasn't used to the level that we see him now in the end part of the season, right? When Marvin Harrison Jr. has not been able to stay healthy, Michael Wilson has come in here and really kind of shown that, hey, you can take over a game. You look really, really good. The contested catches, the crazy catches, right? Those type of things we love to see. Let's keep that going. But what I'm saying here, my question right now is like, is he safe? He's not. He's not, and he shouldn't be safe. There shouldn't be anybody out there, whether it's based off of their opinion or they got quote unquote quote sources within the Arizona Cardinals locker room, or maybe you're just a really good educated guesser, right? Who knows? Who knows where all these kind of ideas are coming out there? There should be nobody out there saying that he is safe. There should be nobody out there. He has not proven that he can win in the NFC West. He hasn't proven anything at all. At all. Jonathan Gannon has proved nothing that he can sustain with the big dogs of the NFC West. I've said this in multiple different videos. Mike McDonald, year 2 head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, has automatically already far surpassed his ability to be a better head coach than Jonathan Gannon. And it's not even close. It's not even close. Jonathan Gannon refuses to make any changes. He can't stand with the big dogs. He's not that guy. He isn't. Is he one of the smartest football minds? I mean, I think he's got some really good high-level football IQ. I do. I do believe he's got really good football IQ. I mean, you're not going to be in this position, defensive coordinator, head coach, if you don't have a high level of football IQ. I think he is smarter than the average football fan. 100%, of course. But is he top 32 brilliant minds out there? No, he's not. He's not. He's not a brilliant top 32 brilliant mind. He's not. He's a guy that knows football. He's a guy that brings in his game plan to try to, I guess, take down the weaknesses of the opposing teams. But guess what? All his game plans have not been good. Have not been good. Nick Rallis came out and said, I didn't like our plan. I didn't like it one bit. Nick Rallis says, I don't like it. This is Nick Rallis for the new people that are joining in. He spoke to the media yesterday, and this is what Nick Rallis said about his game plan, his defense, and Jonathan Gannon's defense, because he's a defensive-minded head coach, and he's probably the one who approved it. This is what Nick Rallis said.
The biggest thing, and I felt it as soon as I walked out of the stadium, probably before that, was did not like the plan, to be honest.
No, duh! No, duh, you shouldn't have liked the plan. MVP Matthew Stafford, one of the best teams in the NFL, and the LA Rams, and you're coming out here saying, on second thought, now that we got absolutely obliterated and there was absolutely no pressure on Matthew Stafford, I didn't like that plan after all. Whoa, what did you expect? What do you expect? The only real guy that we have, or I guess 2 guys that we have that are worth a lick on the defensive line when Monty Ossenfort upgraded the defensive line, and he did, right? But they're not really showing up to the level that we thought they were going to. The only guys that are worth a lick is Josh Sweat, which he was MIA. And then on top of that, Calais Campbell, which is probably going to have his ride off onto the sunset. I appreciate everything you've done for the Arizona Cardinals, but he's probably going to ride off into the sunset, which we're going to be left with Dalvin Tomlinson, who has not really been great. He's been okay. He's been meh. He's been all right. Darius Robinson's getting 1% better each game. 1% better. Let's go. And then with some high praises of Walter Nolan, he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then we got Will Johnson, I keep saying Will Johnson. I'm sorry. And then we got Will Anderson Jr. that we're going to be playing in the Texans, which a lot of Cardinal fans wanted Anderson Jr. I don't know. I keep saying Will Johnson. A lot of Cardinal fans wanted Will Anderson Jr. And guess what? He's going to make this Cardinals defense or offense pay. He's going to wreak havoc on a defense that's very, very well established in DeMeco Ryans. And this kid, already in his year 3, has already proved to be arguably one of the best young pass rushers in the NFL. But Monty Austin-Ford said, I'm good. I'm going to trade back with the Texans so they can go ahead and establish a brand new team and be playoff contending team. That's what Monty did. Monty helped the speed up of what the Texans are right now. They got themselves CJ Stroud, which is a franchise quarterback. No, he's not looked as good as his rookie year, but he's still, quote unquote, a guy that's winning division titles, winning big games. He's still that guy. Not going to say top 5, not going to say top 10, but he's still a guy that you can win with, right? And then you got a really good defense over there with Will Anderson Jr., and he's going to be like, oh, hey, remember when you skipped out on me? Remember that, Cardinals? Yeah, here we go. And then on top of that, we don't have Paris Johnson Jr. in this game. Yikes. Big yikes. Here we go. All right, we got a super chat coming in here. Let me go and give some love on over to my guy, IVRA Zor, 5075, coming in here with a $10 donation, already starting the train off really good. Appreciate you, man. He's saying this: I don't see Gannon getting fired for a few reasons. Not want to pay guys head coach money the same. If we get 5 to 6 in the draft, trade Murray to the Raiders for Mendoza. I like that. I like that option. I really do. Obviously, I think Kyler Murray is going to be the guy that most likely will be gone right now when you're looking at it, everybody, right? You're looking at Gannon. No, actually, that's wrong. I think Petzing is up there. I think Petzing, Kyler, Gannon. And obviously, if Gannon goes, the rest of the coordinators go. Let's be real. Maybe Jeff Rodgers, because he was here early or before Gannon, maybe he stays. But like, if Gannon goes, I'm only assuming everybody else is going to go. But that's my level of how confident I am. I think Petzing is probably going to go first, Kyler, and then Gannon. Gannon and crew, right? Whatever you want to call it, Gannon and crew. To be real with you, I do see Gannon getting fired. I do. Now, I'm not reporting. I'm not saying out here that I know any inside sources. I do see Gannon getting fired, right? Albert Breer came out and even himself saying that he can see some changes in the desert. Now, he doesn't know what the owner is going to do, and this is probably what you're saying for a few reasons. The main reason is probably monetary reasons, right? Michael Bidwell is known to be a stickler. Michael Bidwell is known to be a cheapskate. Michael Bidwell is known to be a guy that's a little too involved when he's not really a football savant, right? He's not a guy that's a football guy. He's a business guy, quote unquote, inheritance guy that got this $1 billion corporation, and he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, right? So he puts his hand in the cookie jar when he probably shouldn't be involved in football operations. That is who he is. So I respect that. I understand it. And I know there was some reports earlier as well before the season completely went off the rails. And people did say that Jonathan Gannon or the Cardinals wanted Jonathan Gannon to get his guy. To me, the timeline doesn't make sense. It makes no sense, the timeline at all. Like, you're telling me that we want Jonathan Gannon to get his guy. What does that mean? That means somebody in free agency? Or does that mean somebody in the draft? Well, in my crazy mind, that means somebody in the draft, right? There's no way that expectations is you're going to give you one more year, but you need to make the playoffs. You're giving Jonathan Gannon one more year to get your guy, but you're getting a rookie. Like, that, it just doesn't make sense to me. It makes absolutely little to no sense that that's going to be the plan. But it all kind of goes back to the full circle moment, Michael Bidwell. Oh, you don't want to pay, quote unquote, 3 coaches, right? And that's why he stays. He's not staying because we like the way he does this. No, people are sick of it. People are sick of his shtick. People are sick of what he does. I mean, he hasn't brought in really anything. Let's be real. This is the most conservative I've seen this organization in a very long time. Now, of course, you've seen Keim and then you've seen Monty. I'm not sure if Monty's literally, his hands are being bound by Michael Bidwell. I'm only assuming, but it's unfortunate. There's no real answer that they provided to us for a run game. They didn't do anything. James Conner went down. Trey Benson went down. You had a lot of weeks to try to plan something out before the trade deadline, and they refused. They said they loved Amari DeMarcado. They said they loved Michael Carter, and they said they loved Bam Knight. Come on. It's child's play at this point. It's child's play. So I do see a world he does get fired, to be real with you. I think we at least have to have the conversations. And you're seeing a NFL insider saying that he can see a world where changes do happen, but he doesn't know what Michael Bidwell is going to do. Nobody knows what Michael Bidwell is going to do, right? At the end of the day, nobody does. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you so very much. $10 donation. Absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, it's insane, man. It really is. I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do, but this does give me a level of a little hope. It does. It gives me a level of a little hope because I'm going to be real with you, man. I'm going to be real. If they do bring back Gannon, it truly feels like they're just kicking the can down the road. That's all it feels like. It doesn't feel like, oh, we got our guy. No, it doesn't at all. Nobody thinks that Gannon is going to blossom into this savant of a head coach and he's going to outbeat McVay and he's going to outbeat Kyle Shanahan and then outbeat Mike McDonald. Nobody thinks that. You're going to give him a year 4 for what? For what reason are you going to give Gannon a year 4? Because he's a nice guy? Because you want to give him his opportunity to get a quarterback? You should have done that in year 2. You should have done that in year 2. Plant the seed. Do something. And you didn't do anything. I said this last year. Here's the problem with the way that this organization runs. I said this last year, and for the people that have been rocking with me for a long time, let me know if you remember when I said this. We're having a lot of conversations about Gannon, and I said it's going to be tricky because it feels like Gannon is tying his career to Kyler. And let's be real, I didn't really have a lot of hope that Kyler Murray was going to turn it around in year 7, but if that's the way the Cardinals wanted to roll it, okay, then let's see what happens. I hope I'm wrong. Well, guess what? I was right. They gave up on the experiment 5 games in, called it a foot injury, although I do believe there was a foot injury sustained. The way that they play this whole thing, it's obvious, is shady. They chose to move off of him, right? Gannon should have done this earlier. Gannon should have done this earlier. He should have done it in year 2, getting himself a potential Jackson Dart. He could have potentially got himself a different guy. Hell, I would have even taken Shedeur Sanders at this point. Round 3, take Shedeur Sanders if you're that unknown. You put yourself in this situation, Gannon. You did it. You tied your career to Kyler. And guess what? Yes, injuries are a big deal. It is. But I don't trust you to get things right when this is a quote-unquote healthy roster. I don't trust you. I don't trust you to outbeat Mike McDonald, to outshine him and outsmart and outcoach him. I don't trust him to beat Mike McDonald. I don't trust him to beat Kyle Shanahan. I don't trust him to beat McVay. And guess what? You're in a division with some top dogs. He ain't it. He ain't it. Now, like I said before, if the Cardinals decide to roll with them, and if they want to give him a year 4, it's just, at this point, I'm going to sit back and watch and see what happens. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit back and see what happens because honestly, right now, I know why the Cardinals are always in the situation they're in. I could tell already if the Cardinals decide to bring back Gannon and we're in for another wasted year, I now truly understand why the Arizona Cardinals are constantly doing why they're doing and why they're one of the worst losing franchises in the NFL. I understand because of decisions like this, because based off of monetary reasons, you want to bring back Gannon because you want him to quote unquote get his guy. The timeline doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. It really doesn't. Really sit back and think about it. You want to give him a year 4 to get his guy, and then the stipulations that you need to make the playoffs? What? I'm sorry. I love Jacoby Brissett as much as the next guy. I really do. I think he's a really good backup quarterback, but you can't come out here and say, oh, you got Jacoby Brissett, make the playoffs. No. It's a losing battle there, ladies and gentlemen. It's a losing battle. You're throwing Gannon out there and war with the plastic knife. You're setting him out to fail and to dry. But if that's what the Cardinals want to do, okay, I'll sit back. I'll sit back and watch the train wreck. I'll sit back and watch it implode from the inside out. Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll sit back and I'll cover this team and consistently point out every single flaw that they should have done. Because that's just what it comes down to. Unfortunately, I don't want to be that guy, but that's what it turned into when Steve Keim was here. It's just the last year of Steve Keim was every video forced to why we should fire Keim. And I don't want to go back to that. I want to have an organization that I feel confident that they can actually lead us to eventually a Super Bowl. And guess what? If you bring Gannon back, that's just another reason as to why we don't believe that this organization will ever change. Point and blank, period. You don't bring Gannon back if you're the Steelers. You don't bring Gannon back if you're a top echelon of these top teams. No, you bring Gannon back if you want to do the Cardinal thing. That's where you bring Gannon back. If you want to do the Cardinal thing, that's why you bring Gannon back. It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like I'm in a it's nuts. It's nuts to me. But like I said, hearing Albert Breer come out and saying that he feels like there might be some changes happening just gives me a little of the jollies, because that makes me think that the frustration level that Cardinals feel, the owner's feeling too. And I'm not even going to come out here and allow Monty Ossenfort to get a pass. I'm not. I'm not going to allow Monty Ossenfort to get a pass. Do I feel like he should get fired this offseason? I mean, in a perfect real world, I would love us to just rip everything off like a Band-Aid. In a perfect real world. But we don't do that thing, right? We don't do it. I will settle for just Gannon and crew being gone. I will settle for that. But receipts are being collected. Receipts are being collected with Monty Ossenfort and his lack of decisions that he's doing. So I don't think he's going to go. So I'm not going to jump on my soapbox saying Monty needs to go as well. But it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be able to actually build a team. I like his draft picks, but anything other than that has been. Let's see. I'm willing to sit back and say, okay, Gannon and crew gone. Let's see what a new coaching staff can do. But let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget the Arizona Cardinals were charged with tampering. The Arizona Cardinals were charged with tampering. Don't forget that, because we wanted to get our guy. The Cardinals wanted to get our guy. Monty Ossenfort was charged with tampering because we spoke with Jonathan Gannon before the end of the season. So guess what? We lost draft picks. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. Inexperience all around. Tampering. We lost draft picks because we wanted to get our guy in Jonathan Gannon. That's going to be the dude that's going to lead us to multiple Super Bowl playoff appearances. That's going to be the guy. We were charged with draft picks because of tampering. Yikes. Absolute yikes. Wind in the chat says another year of Gannon means I could enjoy my Sundays again. Yeah. I mean, like I said, if that's what the Cardinals want to do, I'll sit back. I'll sit back and enjoy, and I watch the train wreck from afar, right? But it sucks because every single year they come out and put this poor piss product out here is another year that I get older, is another year that I'm never going to see a damn Super Bowl in the desert. It sucks. But if that's the way the Cardinals want to play it, that's up to them. It's not my money that's being lost. I'm not paying product for this team to come out here when I know damn well they should be doing better. Right? There's a reason why organizations stay good when they're rebuilding, and they don't rebuild for 3 or 4 years, suck for 2 years, and they have to rebuild for another 3 or 4 years. They don't have the right guys, and they just don't see that. That's the problem. That's the problem. Why are the Cardinals always here? Why are we the most losing organization and franchise in the NFL? Why? Well, decisions made from the very top. And on top of that, after getting rid of Keim, we brought a lot of inexperienced guys to try to right the ship. You could have gotten Sean Payton. You could have gotten any other guy. Hell, Jim Harbaugh, for the love of God, came back for the Chargers because he believed in the Chargers. He believed in them. I mean, and he's doing wonders with the Chargers right now. It's crazy, man. It really is. A lot of people seem to think if you fire a head coach, you're going to go right back into the dumps. Well, as a Cardinal fan, that probably is expectation. You're going right back into the dumps. But believe it or not, you can get a head coach that wins. And we saw that in the early parts of the 2010s when we hired Bruce Arians. We saw that. Because guess what? We got a guy that's a winner. That's why. No risk and no biscuit. It's what it is, man. It's what it is at this very moment. But for the new people that are just joining in, Jonathan Gannon did speak to the media probably about 30 minutes ago, maybe 45 minutes ago now, and he did confirm that Paris Johnson Jr. is ruled out of this game. He's ruled out of this game. So, Will Anderson Jr., have at it. Have yourself. Have yourself a game. Rack it up. Because guess what? We missed out on you, man. We missed out. That's on us. Prove why the Arizona Cardinals should have drafted you. Go ahead. Have at it. We're not going to have Paris Johnson. Have at it. 2-3 sacks. Sheesh. Throw Slovis out there. Good God. I pray. I pray for Monty Ossenfort. I'm sorry, not Monty. I pray for Jacoby Brissett. I really do. This is going to be a bloodbath. And on top of that, Trey Benson, the savior, the guy that's supposed to be our running back of the future, has already been confirmed. He's done for the season. He's not going to be activated. Yikes. Yikes. Absolute yikes. We got my guy Victor in the chat, says, I will say Kime made moves when we had injuries and got good football players. Traded for Chandler Jones, drafted Trey McBride, Buddha, he signed Connor. He did well. I don't see Monty doing anything. Honestly, I feel like Monty Ossenfort has adapted this conservative approach, and it's really, really been the detriment of this organization. Like, I get it. I'm a podcaster. I get that, right? That's what I do. I talk about my favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm blessed to be able to do it. But how is a guy getting paid millions and millions of dollars to be the general manager, one of 32 in the NFL? One of 32 in the NFL, and he didn't think to do something after Connor went down, and literally a week later, Trey Benson going down. How? And every update we've been getting, ladies and gentlemen, from Gannon, from everybody that's providing us updates, is he's trending in the right direction. It's day by day with Trey Benson. You know damn well if the season turned upside down, you probably most likely won't see him. And you did nothing. You did nothing. And not just that, you did nothing on the offensive side of the ball this offseason. What'd you do? Bring in Hayden Connor? What? You did nothing on the offensive side of the ball. You said, I'm good, bruh. That's why I'm so pissed off with Monty Ossenfort. Because he refuses to do anything. When the Cardinals had money to do something, he refuses. And like I said before, am I calling for his job right now? No, I'm not. I will settle for Gannon and crew to be gone. I will settle for that, but I'm keeping receipts on Monty Ossenfort. And it's starting now, and it started last year. So much better could be with this roster. And guess what? You don't have depth. You don't have depth on this roster. And that's not something, we're not even talking about that right now, because you can tell we're not in the same level of any of these NFC West opponents. We're not in the same level of them. And it's unfortunate. It really is. We got another super chat coming in. Woo! 20. No, not 20. Is that pounds? 20-something. 20-something. Christopher coming out here. Appreciate you, Christopher. Love to see it. Saying this. Keep it true, Mike. Even when we had Pete Carroll in Seattle, we made the move to get rid of him and Wilson. Had Pete Carroll in Seattle, we made the move to get rid of him and Wilson. I hope y'all get a good head coach if Gannon goes. I want to see all 4 teams duke it out. Love listening to you. Thank you, Christopher. It's not even a Cardinal fan. He's talking about a Seattle fan, right? You got rid of Pete Carroll because you knew it was time. He delivered you a Super Bowl, and he took you to the Super Bowl the year after, right? He got you a Super Bowl, and then he got you to the Super Bowl. Of course, we all know Marshawn Lynch should have ran it. We all know that. And then you did what you needed to do as an organization because you know when to cut ties. The problem is the Cardinals don't know when to cut ties. They don't know when to do it. They should have figured out this Kyler Murray situation last year. That's when they should have figured it out. When I was talking about quarterback plan, you need a quarterback plan. And the Cardinals said, no, we're good. We're going to sit on our hands. We're good. You need to start thinking 2 or 3 years in advance. Hell, 1 or 2 years in advance. I won't even give you the 3 years is too far. Okay, that's fine. 1 or 2 years in advance, you need to start thinking of it. And the Cardinals refuse to do anything at quarterback. And guess what? Kyler Murray most likely will find his way out to another team. And I hope nothing but the best and success for him. I hope he flourishes somewhere else. I really do. But this goes back to my favorite team and how poorly it's actually ran. You should have thought of this in 2024. I don't care that you were lovey-dovey with Kyler. Oh, Kyler's our dude. Kyler's our dude. Let's be real. Kyler Murray was your dude because contract reasons. That's why. That's why he was your dude. 2024, you should have done something. 2025, you should have done something. And instead, you sat back and said, okay, I've seen enough. He's going to be our guy in year 3. And you quit after 5 games. That's not a way an organization runs. You should have drafted a guy that you believed in, developed him, and then when you cut the ties of Kyler, which how did you not see this? I saw this as a podcaster. How do you get paid millions of dollars not see this? I saw this coming. At some point, it was going to be done. Kyler comes back in year 1 after his drastic injury. He finishes off the season 3-5. Well, guess what? I was already being critical on Kyler Murray when he came back after 3-5, but I gave him a little bit of a, okay. It's a new offense. Footwork. This is a brand new offense. He's never really ran under center. I'll give you a pass, but I was still already critical. Year 2, 6-4. Things were good. We're talking about MVP Kyler Murray again. Second half came around 2-5. That's when the frustration started happening. You should have thought of this earlier. And now we're forced to probably only have 2 quarterbacks coming out of this draft, maybe 3. And that maybe 3 potentially could be Ty or could potentially be Dante. But right now, the clear-cut number 1 guy is Fernando Mendoza. Now, whether you're in that spot or not to go after him, the Cardinals right now aren't within striking distance. They're 8. Going to number 1 from 8 is going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money. Money. A lot of draft capital is what I meant. Not money. Draft capital. But here we are. How do I know this? Right? How? New subscribers? Look back on all the videos that I talked about here in 2024. Look back on all and talk. That's how I already knew what was on top of it. But like I said, if they want to do what they want to do, I'll sit back and watch the train wreck because that's what's been happening all 7 years of me doing this. I'll sit back and watch the train wreck. Because guess what? A real organization, a smart organization would have been on top of this. And if they decided to get rid of or kind of sit Kyler and move off of Kyler, you have a plan. Jonathan Gannon, I would have given you so much more credit if you planned out to have your guy. I would have given you more time. But now, you tied your career to Kyler. There it is. Lay in the bed that you made. Lay on the bed that you made. Let's move on. We got another super chat coming our way. We got J10 in the chat. It says NFC West is the toughest division by far. Cards should be in the division with the Broncos. Raiders and Chargers, more sensible. Hell, well, that division is in the AFC. I'm cool with going in the AFC, but I will settle for the NFC South. For the love of God, please move us somewhere that we have a freaking fighting chance. Because this Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenfort and Gannon regime can't give us nothing in this division. Nothing. Send us to the NFC South for the love of God. Give us the Saints. Give us the Panthers. Give us the Bucks. Give us the Jags. That's not the Jags. I'm sorry. Not the Jags. Falcons. Falcons, Saints, Bucks. I just said it. Who else is in the South? Oh, Panthers. Give us them. Sheesh. Get us out of this damn division where we can't freaking compete in, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. My guy Joe in the chat says Kyler was never the problem. It's not even about Kyler wasn't the problem. It's not even about that. And I think that's one thing that people are getting twisted in their minds. It's never about, is Kyler Murray the full problem? This is what people don't understand. And hear me well, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about, is Kyler Murray the problem? It's all coming down to, can Kyler Murray win you a division? Can Kyler Murray win you a Super Bowl? That's what this comes down to. And in year 7, he cannot. He cannot. So no, Kyler Murray was never the only sole real problem, but he was part of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. That's what people don't understand. The Cardinals made a very decision to move off of a guy that they paid millions and millions of dollars to be the franchise quarterback. Do you know what a franchise quarterback is? A guy that gives you the chance to win a Super Bowl. A guy that gives you the chance to win the division year in and year out. Kyler Murray wasn't delivering. Simple as that. It's not about Kyler versus Jacoby versus Kyler. It's not about that. It's about, can he deliver you a Super Bowl? And he's not able to. Not within this division. Not within what he's done in the last 6-7 years. It's just simple as that. It's time to cut ties. It's time to cut ties. If we were in the NFC South, I will take it. Maybe we have a chance with Kyler. Stay. He's not going to do that in this division, ladies and gentlemen. He's not. That's what this is about. The Cardinals made a business decision to move off of a guy that's cheaper. Because guess what? If Jacoby Brissett is still giving you the same results, or if Kyler's giving you 3 or 4 more games over Jacoby Brissett, because that's what it's going to come down to. I see it all the time. We have all these people on X and Twitter want to be the smart guy, right? Oh, this wouldn't happen if Kyler Murray was here. Kyler Murray would have been in contention. He wouldn't have been blown out. Kyler Murray has not won the damn freaking. He's not won over Seattle in a very long time at all. This is an accumulation of our defense being piss poor, like not as great as we thought they were going to be. Accumulation of this offensive line being bad, primarily on the right side. The run game's terrible. That's what this is. If you want to say this is Kyler and this is Jacoby, okay, but does that justify $45+ million? Is this small of a gap change you $45+ million? It doesn't. It doesn't. As simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to ride out with Kyler Murray because you think he's the name and you love him, okay, well, that's your decision. I'm proud of what the Arizona Cardinals did. They decided to find and cut ties, but guess what? It's a year too late. It's a year too late because there's no real plan here. The Cardinals are tanking? Maybe. But there's other teams that are tanking better than you. That's the problem. We don't even know how to tank. We don't even know how to be the worst team in the NFL right now. We just don't. Because what? There's the Titans, the Saints, everybody else is in front of us right now. We don't know how to do it properly. That's the unfortunate part. And it's as simple as that. It's not about Kyler and Jacoby. It's not about Kyler was never the problem. Get that out of your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Get that out of your mind. What you should be thinking is, can he win you a Super Bowl? Can he win you the division? And the answer is no. No. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let's keep going with the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it going with the conversation. Appreciate you guys for being here. Right now, we got over 100 of you guys on the YouTube side. Actually, no, it's actually 94 of you guys on the YouTube side. Smack the like button if you could do me that huge favor. Smack up the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 19K. Subscribe it up. Appreciate you for being here. Let's continue the conversation. So, main thing I wanted to talk about today is that there's a sliver of hope, right? There's a sliver of hope. Albert Breer came out and did say this on a X/Twitter live. I think there was a Cardinal fan ended up asking him if Jonathan Gannon's job is safe, and this is what Albert Breer had to say.
Do you see Jonathan Gannon get fired this offseason? He's gotten blown out by every NFC West rival. I certainly don't think he's safe right now. I don't know what the owner's going to do, but it does feel to me like some level of change is coming. And I think JG knows this.
So he doesn't know what the owner's going to do, right? And at the end of the day, that's going to be who's going to be the deciding factor here, right? That's going to be who's going to be the deciding factor. The owner, Michael Bidwell. What is he going to do? What is his decision at the end of the year? That's what it comes down to. Michael Bidwell, what does he want to do? And right now, ladies and gentlemen, right now, it feels like he should go, but there's always that lingering thought on the top of my mind that it's Michael Bidwell and that anything he can do to save a dime, he will do it. Anything he will do to save something, he will do it. So when Albert Breer said this, of course, that got Cardinals fans excited. Of course. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is based off of his opinion. He literally said that in the clip. I don't know what Michael Bidwell is going to do. I don't know what he's going to do. But he thinks that there's changes going to happen. Or at least that's his opinion. Maybe he does have sources. Maybe he does have people on the inside. Now, he does work and has worked for the NFL for a very long time. Maybe. Maybe there is a sliver of chance. But I will take it at this point. If there's any NFL insider out there that's coming out and saying there's a sliver of hope that we're going to be able to get rid of him, hey, sign me up. I'll listen to it 10 times out of the day, any time of the week. You give me a sliver of hope that he's gone, I'll take it. Now, my opinion, right? Because people get it twisted. Opinions, reports. Not reporting anything, and I never have, never. That's just not what I do. I'm a fan. The Cardinals should get rid of Gannon. They should get rid of Gannon. Will they? Let's see. Let's see. But they should. They should. Let's keep it with that. We got Classy Nasty. What's up, man? What's up, Classy? I haven't seen you in a very long time. Classy, appreciate you for being here. He's saying this. Build the O-line in free agency, then draft a QB. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, that's any which direction the Cardinals go, right? This is what I want to do, right? And actually, let me clarify. I'm okay with using a second round pick. For some reason, people don't, I guess, they don't think that I want to build the draft or that I want to build the O-line in the draft. That's not what I'm saying. And let me clarify for the people that are in the back that just don't think that I want to draft an offensive lineman. I do. I do want to draft an offensive lineman. I do. But to me, it's going to depend on how the board falls. If the Cardinals are in prime position to get a guy that they truly like, you get the quarterback. And hopefully, if Monty Austin-Ford is here, he throws a bag on a guy that is in free agency. Braden Smith. We talked about it on yesterday's video. If you guys watched it, shout out to you guys. If you guys didn't watch it, then I don't know what to tell you. But guess what? It doesn't have to be a first-round guy. It doesn't have to be. Let's take it back real quick to Paris Johnson Jr. when we drafted him the 6th overall pick. Was he the best offensive lineman when we drafted him? I mean, some people might say, but was he a big, impactful, needle-moving change at that moment? No, he was a guy that was developing. He was the best offensive lineman prospect in that year's draft. And the Cardinals, they got their guy. Cool. Okay, awesome. But you can get a guy in the second round. You can trade up back into the first round if somebody falls. You can get somebody in the third round and double down second, third round. You can get somebody in free agency. You can trade for somebody. The Chicago Bears and what they did for Caleb Williams in that year one compared to year two was magical. They saw the big need. They got to keep their guy upright, and they went for trades. They drafted guys. They did everything they can. It's not just the first round in the draft. Now, if the board falls like that, cool. I'm cool. Francis Mawinoa, Spencer Fanu, cool. It's cool. But to me, it's not end-all, be-all. There's a quarterback that falls to you, and you're somewhere in the top 5, but when this horrible season is all said and done, then you pull the trigger and you get your quarterback that you want. But I get it. I get it. Some people don't want to get a quarterback in this draft. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But opinions, right? I do like Dante Moore. I do like Fernando Mendoza. Ty Simpson, I was a little higher on. And I said this on my last video as well. I don't believe it's fully Alabama or Ty Simpson's fault as to why Alabama lost to Georgia. He didn't look good. No, he didn't. But there was no run game. And he made some really good throws that his wide receivers weren't able to come down with. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. If they go after Spencer Fanu, cool. If they go after Francis Mawinoa, cool. But it's all going to depend on how this board falls. You trade Kyler Murray, and the only answer you have is Jacoby Brissett going into 2026. I feel like that's a failure. I feel like it's a failure. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We got is that Mac? Let's call 213. What's up, man? He says, I don't like drafting a QB that has worked out success, has come with veterans and proven as a QB. So you don't like drafting a quarterback. You want to get a guy that's more established, is what you're saying, right? And I saw in the chat. And I'm not sure if it's coming from my guy Austin, but there is some people out there that want to bring in Mac Jones. People out there want to bring in Mac Jones. Here's my reasons as to why not. A, you want to bring in a veteran. Okay, I respect it. But you have a veteran already on this roster. Mac Jones isn't your answer, right? And I get it. If you draft somebody, you don't know if that's your answer either, right? But the benefit of getting a rookie quarterback is that you're not paying him a lot of money. Does Mac Jones covet it? What is Mac Jones' contract? Let's start off there. Is he a free agent? I don't think he's a free agent. I think it's on a 2-year deal. And next year is his last year, I think. Yes, he signed up until 2026. And it's very cheap. Honestly, it's actually very cheap considering. Like, if the Cardinals traded for him, I guess I wouldn't hate it because of how cheap his contract is. But also on the other side of the coin, like, he's not the answer. He's not the forever answer for the Cardinals. I mean, I guess I don't hate it. I thought his contract was a lot more than this. It's actually very cheap. Guaranteed salary, $1 million next year. Cap of 2.2. Yeah, that's very cheap. Huh. I still want to draft a quarterback. I don't care. I still want to draft a quarterback. I don't care. I know 2027, the guys are a lot better, or at least projectedly to be a lot better. But like I said, if there's a guy that whoever's the head coach likes, I'm cool. But I don't know if I trust a guy that's going to be able to say, Mac Jones, I'm going to put you in the best position available. Hell, we didn't do that with Kyler. You know what I mean? Hell, I just don't, I don't know. It's just, there's so much that I want to say no on when it comes down to Mac. There's just so much no. Classy says, keep Brissett if the rookie QB doesn't perform well. Well, let's think. Brissett is already under contract for 2 years, right? Brissett is under contract for 2 years already. So we got him this year and we got him next year. Like, you bring in another veteran, and right now Mac Jones is a veteran, let's be real, but they're going to duke it out. I can't sit back and saying, like, when those reports that came out and said Jonathan Gannon needs to get his guy, that Mac Jones is his guy. I just don't see that, right? When I hear the report that Gannon might have another opportunity because they want him to get his guy, I just don't see Mac Jones as being his guy. I see his guy as being somebody in the draft. That's who I see. But I don't know. But this just proves to you, like, just because you're the head coach or the general manager, that doesn't mean you're the smartest guy in the world. It doesn't mean that. Right? I could already tell you, Monty Ossenford in the draft has made decisions, whether he's going to admit it or not, that probably wasn't best for the franchise. He's made decisions that probably hasn't been best for the franchise. In the draft, in free agency. These guys are making things based off what they feel like. And in somebody's opinion, we got, what, how many people here in the chat right now? 93 people on the YouTube side, right? 93. Every one of you 93s have a different opinion in how you build the Arizona Cardinals compared to the next guy, right? Guess what? Monty is just that next guy. That's it. That's all he is. The draft is a lottery. It's what it is. You get it right, you don't. You move on, and you lick your wounds, and especially if you don't get it right. People always, as long as I've been doing this, people always seem to think that none of these guys that are in these positions can do any wrong. And that's where I kind of push the needle, right? And that's what probably people don't like about me. Because when I talk based off my opinion, right? Now, if insiders agree or they don't agree, I can care two S's about it. It's my opinion. That's how I built this platform out. They can be wrong. And they've been wrong before. Plenty of times they've been wrong. But it's what it is, right? But if you want to have a little sliver of hope, ladies and gentlemen, Albert Breer did come out on a X/Twitter live, coming out and says he does feel like there's changes that could happen, but he doesn't know what Michael Bidwell's thinking. But he does feel like it can happen, that changes can happen. So take that what you will. I did make a poll question on YouTube. If you guys haven't already voted, I highly recommend you go to the channel and go to my community tabs or the community posts where I have all my like questions and all the different stuff. I end up asking you guys, right, on the chat. And so far, 14 hours ago, I posted this. I have 1,100 votes already. 1,100 votes. I end up asking you guys, how do you think the Arizona Cardinals should handle the offseason? Right now, 41% is saying fire Gannon and crew. And Gannon and crew means everybody, including the offensive and defensive and special team coordinator. 22% says only fire Petzing. 1% says fire Monty. And 35% says burn it all down. And that's including Monty, if you didn't know that. Check this out. Over 1,000 of you guys voted. I want to hear from more of you guys if you can. Go to the community tab and let me know. But 35% says burn it all down, and that's including Monty. No, it's not including Michael. I wish it did, but let's be real. He's not going to move off. So let me know if you can. Go on over there and cast your vote. Curious to figure out how this all shakes out. Because I do end up asking you guys as well, where is Kyler Murray going to be playing in 2026? And we got over 2,600 votes. Appreciate you guys for being involved and staying through and hanging out. Appreciate it. Let's do this. We're getting to that point right now. We're going to be closing up shop right here. I believe there is another video coming out a little later on. It's not going to be a video that's like reports or anything like that, but it's a video I kind of really want to address. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about this right now, and I want to kind of give my 2 cents on this whole situation. So there most likely will be another video once I record and edit it and all that different stuff. Make sure you have your post notification bell on the channel and subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Join the community. Closing up shop right here. Another shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. Steven, S9, Dashing Hazels, another Steven, Will, Cool, Austin, John, appreciate y'all. We're closing up shop right here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. All the super chatters, thank you so much for the super chats. Appreciate you. And smack the like button on your way out. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals. Later.